Hi, I'm Deborah. Welcome to our home in beautiful Smithville, Tennessee. I am so excited to be a part of the Cookin' Dixie Chicks, and today I would like to share with you a family favorite of ours, which is a sourdough recipe. It's more of a dessert. It is a lemon zest, blueberry, cream cheese. You can make this into loaves or you can make them into muffins. I find, just from personal experience, that the cupcakes tend to last a little longer versus the loaf, because I have a husband who is a bit of a sweet tooth bandit who just comes in and keeps shaving off these slices, and before you know it, it's gone. So I switched over to the muffins or cupcakes, and that works out a little bit better. Anyway, let's get started today. The recipe is very simple. This can be done with starter that has been fed recently, and mine was, so it's nice and full here. Or you can even use unfed starter, or discard as it's also known. It's a great recipe, it's a quick recipe, and I hope you'll like it. I have made some modifications through years of doing it, and cream cheese is one of those. The question comes up, is it going to have the same taste as sourdough with that tang? And the answer is, in this particular recipe, no. I find that you don't even notice it at all, but it does give a beautiful spring and height to the muffins. So let's get started today with the recipe and then the ingredients that we'll be using. I will attach the recipe, but you can see it's pretty simple, just one page. For our blueberry cream cheese muffins, I like to use a combination of fresh blueberries, these wild blueberries that you can pick up at Walmart, olive oil, bread flour, lemon. We'll use the zest as well as fresh lemon juice, sugar, cream cheese, baking powder and soda, a stick of melted butter, sea salt, fresh eggs. We're fortunate here that we have a farm not very far away, so we get fresh eggs all the time. My starter, which was fed this morning and is doing quite well. Whole milk, although you can use any kind of milk you'd like. I just find whole milk does better with it. Fresh vanilla, and then I have these tulip liners, which are really great for holding in the lemon zest icing, which I will teach you at the end to make. All right, let's get started putting this together. Okay, I like to mix my dry ingredients first. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of flour, and I like to use King Arthur. Ever since I started baking, that's what I use, and it works out really well. So we're gonna do 2 cups of flour. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I like to use sea salt when I do this. So I'm just gonna mix this around so everything doesn't all go in it as one thing. And then we're gonna start putting together our other items. So in this, we're gonna put in a cup of sugar, a stick of unsalted butter that's been melted, and a tablespoon of olive oil. All right. And I am going to put that in the blender. Now you can do this whole process by hand mixing. I just find this easier. But if you don't have a mixer, that's okay. So kind of whip that together. And then once that is mixed and the sugar is broken down a little bit, then we'll start adding in our other ingredients. Okay, that's kind of going to be a nice consistency up there. All right. And now we're going to add in 2 eggs. Get that whip up. Half a cup of milk. As I said, I've done it with almond milk. It's fine. Just switch back to whole milk doing it. And then we want to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. I tend to go a little heavy-handed on the vanilla, just because I didn't enjoy the flavor of it. And then we need to do a half cup of that starter. She is nice and stringy. I don't know why people refer to food as cheese, but I find I do that too. Oh, you can listen for me because this gets real messy if I don't. Starter in. And as I said before, you can have fed or what we call discard, which is just means it hasn't been fed and it hasn't risen. Maybe we'll do a class sometime on sourdough. I've been asked to do that, so at another place. All right. Now I'm going to start mixing that, and then I will come right back. And we'll do the lemon part. Okay, so our mix is going really well. The next part of the recipe calls for lemon zest. And one of the tricks that I've learned is if you keep the lemons cold, they're easier to zest. Maybe because it makes the oil easier. I don't know. But so it calls for a tablespoon of lemon zest. I've already admitted to my propensity to be a little heavy-handed on the vanilla, the same way on the lemon juice and the lemon zest. So it's 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. After I zested, I just went ahead and used it. We'll use this lemon juice later for the frosting. All right. Now this gets to be the exciting part, and I'll bore you through it, but it is something that I've learned and it works really well. So the next portion is for the cream cheese. Now, when I first started doing this, I cut chunks of cream cheese and stuck it in, and what I found in the loaves was it basically just cooked, and it wasn't great. I really wanted to taste all of it together. So then I thought, then I'm gonna make it cold, or I froze it and I hand cranked it. And the challenge there is when you do that, the warmth of your hand will cause it to start melting, right? So I gave that up. Then I came up with, I think, what is probably the best way to do it. And that is using a salad grater on my mixer. And have this attachment, okay? And I just dip it in my KitchenAid. Come on. There, now it's on. Okay. So the other thing that I learned to do too is when you get your cream cheese home from the grocery store, while it's soft, go ahead and cut it in just down the middle. And then I just wrap it and put it in the freezer. Now, I will tell you that it obviously changes the temperature of the dough and it makes the dough a little bit more stiff, but trust me, you're gonna wanna do it this way versus the other. It just makes it so rich and moist. I just love what it does to it. So, if you don't want to add it, you don't have to. If you have somebody that can't do lactose, whatever, you don't have to do this. It's just something that I started and I just absolutely love it. And the family does too. All right, so it has snowed enough. I'm gonna set that aside for a minute, let it warm up just a tad. I'm gonna put my bowl back on. All right. Now, usually, so what I do now is I add the cream cheese prior to bringing in the flour. And I'm gonna slowly put in the cream cheese. Now I have this other handy dandy little gadget. My family calls me the gadget queen. And this is great for being able to get items into the bowl without trying to get around the neck of this. So mix this. All right, and slowly add our cream cheese. And I want to get it mixed. Now, if you decide not to shred it, just make sure that you add the cream cheese in really slowly and that it's completely mixed prior to adding more. Because otherwise you're just going to wind up with big lumps and gumps. And if you like that, that's great. But I just, this works, this shreds it so finely that it mixes in really easily. All right. So now that's it. Push all that down, make sure it's all mixed in. Yes, I got a whole bunch on the counter. There we go. All right. So once that's all mixed, now we're going to add in our dry ingredients that we did before. Remember, it was 2 cups of bread flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay? And I mix this in. And then the mess. Okay. Usually after I do this baking, the day of baking, I need a bath and my counters need a bath. You can see that the dough here is just starting to turn into more of a cake batter. And it's shrinkly. It's trying to kick out the powder. Told you, I need a bath, the counters need a bath. Everybody gets a bath after Deborah cooks. It just seems to be the way that works. Oh, I won't. My goodness. All right. So I'm going to clean some of this up. I think I got as much flour on the counter as I did actually in the bowl. Not really, but. All right. So this is where, at this point, you have to go to hand mixing because now we're going to add in our blueberries and you don't want, obviously, to break them up with the machine. Okay. Let me get those ready. All right, so now we're at the point of adding our blueberries, as I said. Everything's mixed. It's really pretty. Looks great. Again, these wild blueberries I get at Walmart, big bag, super easy. The big difference between them, sometimes they're a little sweeter, but I like using fresh ones if I can, but I'll just show you. There's a regular one, pretty good size, and then here's these little guys. Once again, Deborah, let's make a big old mess. So what I like to do is it calls for 2 cups of blueberries. So I typically will use 1 cup of fresh, and then a cup of these frozen ones. I feel like adding more frozen material to my. The other reason that I do this is because the fresh ones tend to create a lot of pop when you're eating them, if that makes sense. And then the little ones just, to me, allow you to get blueberries in literally every bite. So, if you're doing it, why not? If you're a blueberry fan, gonna love that. All right. So at this point, we're just gonna fold it in because we're going to try to not break them. The blueberries are cold, really cold. The dough was cold from using the frozen cream cheese. So you will find that it can be a little more stiff to work with at this point. But there is literally your dough tends to get a little purple as they kind of pop, and that's fine. I like to use an ice cream scoop when I'm putting them in the tulips here. And as I said, I've used regular liners for cupcakes. These tulips are great because the icing that goes on, if you choose to do that, is rather thin, and these tend to mound up a lot, so it makes it hard to keep the icing on. And the other recommendation, obviously, is wait about 20 minutes after they come out of the oven to kind of cool, because otherwise you're just literally the icing is just gonna run straight to the bottom. So that is my timer. I have the oven set on 350. These will take about 45 minutes to cook. I usually use a thermometer to make sure that the dough is at 190 degrees. Is it necessary? I don't know. I just kind of do this. So you'll get a dozen, just a little over a dozen, not quite enough for baker's dozen, but you'll get a dozen large scoops or muffins out of this. Cupcakes, muffins. I'm sure you all know better than I do what that difference is. I started doing all of this after I had a fall and broke my foot and could not go anywhere for about 6 months. So I started baking. Now, I don't know, and I started doing sourdough. I don't know if that's good or if that's bad that I did that then, but because before then I really didn't cook. So my family thinks this is hysterical. But nobody's complaining when I'm making all of these really great treats. One of my other favorites is, and everybody's favorite, is sourdough pumpkin pancakes. That's always a request. So maybe we can do that at some point. And yeah. So can't have these look too uniform, otherwise somebody will think you bought them. So wouldn't want that to happen. All right, so I think there's one in here that needs just a little bit more. Y'all are gonna love this recipe, I promise. It is such a nice treat. We just recently built our house. Took us 2 years, but now I can just call when we need something done. And the workers, first question is, did you bake? And then they come running over. So this week I had quite a few in. Anyway, all right, enough yapping. So these are what you try to do them without. So these are them. I'm gonna pop them in the oven, as I said, for about 45 minutes. And I will come back and teach you how to make the icing, and then we'll get to see what this all looks like. All right, okay, so let's do the icing. Super simple, 2 ingredients. It is your lemon juice from before and powdered sugar. I also had a little bit of lemon zest left, so I'm just gonna throw that in there as well. And y'all are gonna choke when you see how much powdered sugar goes in here, but maybe not. It's a little shocking for me. Let's start there. And then you just mix it, try to get the powdered sugar dissolved. Then you're just trying to get it to the consistency that you want. If it is too thick, you can add more lemon juice. If it's too thin, add more sugar. This is pretty good. Boss man's here. You want it thicker than that? Yes. He just informed me that it's not thick enough. All right, we'll start here. The sad part is we're going out of town, so we're gonna have to call someone to come eat these, or we'll have to freeze them. And they do freeze well. Ooh, now it's getting real thick. Good. Good talk. If it will just freeze them. All right, that's pretty, okay. So that is it as far as icing. As I mentioned before, put it in the oven for 350 for 45 minutes. Let them cool down before you put the icing on, otherwise it'll just run right out the bottom, which isn't horrible. And that's it. So I'll show them to you when they pop out here in the next 30 minutes. Our cupcakes, muffins, whatever we want to call them, are all out. So now I'm just gonna ice them. I don't think that we can really call this icing. It's just really kind of closer to frosting. But anyway, usually I just drizzle icing across the top. Yeah, they cooled about 30 minutes. So they're ready to go. And you'll know if they're not because your icing will just turn a clear color. Not a lot of nooks and crannies when they're done as cupcake muffins. These look scrumptious. I just have to wait for dinner to settle so I can try one. But I will cut one open so you can see all the blueberries in there. And you can see the icing. It looks awesome. And I know they're gonna taste really good as well. All right, let me cut this puppy so you can see. Oh, that's pretty. Lots of blueberries. And you can see where the big ones are and where the little ones are. That's awesome. All right. I hope you all try it. If you have any questions, reach out and let me know your thoughts. All right, thanks. Take care.